gotta coordinate.
Yes, sir. It don't
Right.
stop there. It don't stop
Boomerang.
there.
Classic flick.
Yes,
One of his
sir.
best. One of the best.
Nah, things been
How
good.
y'all weekend though?
It's been solid.
Chill. Other than having to work yesterday, it's been chill.
Hmm. Y'all Saturday
Feel that.
workers.
Yeah,
Don, you
I had to do the
Saturday stuff
same,
too,
man.
right?
I was yeah, I had to work early Saturday and then I had to get off early enough so I can go watch Makai play basketball. Um so yeah, yesterday, bro, I was just it's every Saturday for me is go, go, go. I work and then I get right off and then it's some type of kid activity, whether it's a basketball game, birthday party,
Mm.
lunch with Harold. That was a one-off, you know what I'm saying, which we did last weekend. So yeah, man. Yesterday was a busy field day, you know what I'm saying? But it was cool though. Definitely cool.
So,
How was the Pops Day for everybody?
It was chill. I picked up little man,
mhm.
made some stuff, made grills. I put my bought a new grill, so I put that to work. Just do some wings on there, some jalapeno poppers, some little sticky rice, and called it a day. We just chill for a few hours, then I watched a couple shows, and took him back to his mom's, and then I just relaxed,
Here you
had a
can have a
little glass and glass of whiskey, and just chill. It
Be
was
like that Sean from Don't Be a Menace. I'm here to see my kid. Okay. Just passing back off.
right. Nah, that was the
I'm
other
here to
one.
pick
That
up my
wasn't that
son.
was like dance movie or something like that was dance movie or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But
No,
yeah,
there wasn't
still
it Don't Be a Menace? No,
No,
nah,
because he didn't have a kid. Yeah, right. He didn't have a kid in
yeah.
Don't Be a Menace. My bad.
it was one of those spoof movies when he just went and said, "I'm here to pick up my son," and then he picked him up,
Yeah,
put him down. He said,
Yeah.
"Same time next week."
Right.
yeah.
He's such a good
Uh,
father. He's such a good daddy. Something
that's
like
so
that.
Exactly.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was dance
mine was
movie
chill,
or
man.
something like that.
I didn't I honestly, you know, it's dope. I actually didn't do much, and for the first time, it was cool. We did what like I wanted to do because you know typically even though it's Father's Day, it ain't for you because you got to go to your mama's house if you're fortunate enough. Then you got to go to your wife's parents' house for to spend time with them, and the whole time it's like, but no, I wanted to do this though. You know what I'm saying? So like, mom's was like, well, we're doing breakfast at 8. I'm like, well, I want to sleep until 10. Okay, but I need you over at 8. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do that, but just understand that we're doing what I don't want to do. So that means it's not for Father's Day; it's for y'all days still to this day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But no, I say all that to say I'm blessed, man. It was cool. The kids got me a pair of kicks, and so did Mildred, of course. I got some new SB dunks that I wanted, and then my parents pulled up later with a brand new Blackstone griddle, so I got that, put that together.
Nice.
So yes, sir. So yeah, no, man, another blessed Father's Day. Obviously, it's all about just understanding and being happy that you have healthy kids. You get to be a dad and all of that, and it's a blessing and it's a dope time. And yeah, man, it was cool. Can't complain.
That's what's up.
Dope,
Yeah,
dope.
Can't
I've been
complain.
looking at those griddles. What have you made on there so far? Or what are you thinking about making?
I legit just I haven't even made anything yet. I just actually yesterday went and bought like a cover for it and everything. So it's sitting over there all nestled. I'm about to get to it this week. But I mean, bro, anything you can imagine, like burgers, you could do like hibachi, you know what I'm saying? Like fried rice, and you cook breakfast on there. So mad pancakes and sausage. And bro, I plan on using that thing a lot. Okay. Especially for me, like having a family of five, like, when I make grilled cheese sandwiches, something like that. Instead of making two or three at a time, I can knock out 10 at a time. You know what I mean? So everyone has two each off the rip. You know what I'm saying? So it's just been able to cook in bulk. Or when you finally start hosting, you know what I mean? Like you can host and cook a bunch instead of just, something inside the house. So I'm excited. I'm planning on hooking up everything out here. I'm definitely gonna be hibachi son and all that, like whipping it. You know what I'm saying? In the kitchen with stuff like a stir fry. I'm gonna be getting it.
That's
And
I
is
thought
that
about getting
electric
one of
or
those.
gas?
Oh, it's gas.
Probably gas. Yeah, most of them are
Okay.
gas. I
Okay.
thought about getting one, but I got the new grill instead. But with that one, even with the old one, I bought a one of those griddles that I can put on top of it in the place of a grate. So essentially make one of those. So that's what I do now. And I do I haven't did the hibachi
Pretty
yet, but I
rare.
did little breakfast stuff, and I did some smash burgers. Those are
Damn.
always a classic. Can't go wrong with a
Yeah,
smash
so
burger.
Oh, there you go.
yes, sir. If you would just want to see what it looks like
Real
for 2 seconds,
sneak peek.
when I say this joint's brand new, like you can see, look, it ain't even. I still got
You
all the,
still got the
still got
sticker
everything
on
on it.
there.
The
But
black
it's cool though because you
Yeah,
can see how much like space it gives you. You know what
omelets.
I'm saying? So
yeah.
please believe we're gonna be getting it popping. We gonna be getting
Nice.
it popping. Yes,
Non-stick.
sir. Non-stick, yes, sir.
Make sure you
So
season it still, even though they say you got to season it still your first time,
Mm.
just to make sure it stays that non-stick. And plus, you want to heat it up the first time to get all the chemicals and all that stuff off there. So when you turn it on for the first time, let it burn for like at least 20, 30 minutes to get all the chemicals from the manufacturer on there before you season it.
oh,
Just after,
trust me, I already
you
bought
already know
I
all
bought
this.
the there's the Blackstone, they sell like seasoning, like
Yeah,
oil. So you put it on there like high heat, and they say to do it like 3 to 4 times. So I'm gonna do a 3 to 4 time cook, and then there's other griddle owners that they say they take like a 3 pound bag of onions and then just saute onions on there, and
yeah,
then like that helps it clean it and also actually season it too. So I'm gonna
yeah,
do all of that, bro, and then we're gonna get it popping. So update
yeah.
coming soon. You dig?
Yeah, the onions trick is dope. I did that once. Yeah, definitely works. I did that on the cast iron too, always on the cast iron.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely dope. You already know, and you got this.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
about you, Brian? How was your Father's Day?
About the same as y'all. Didn't really do too much, which is again something that was desired. It's nice when, you know, it's listened to. That's like, yeah, don't want anything, don't need anything big, whatever. Only gifts I got were essentially from the kids, which is cool because they're my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Little thing of candy or whatever, and little cards, handmade. I love you, Dad, stuff like that, whatever, which is super dope. A little bit of a surprise. I didn't expect that or whatever. I was thinking like, oh, and I got socks, which usually they always be getting me socks. They don't be getting me shoes. My kids into that age to, buy me some dunks and stuff, you know what I mean? But no, they give
Oh,
me
they didn't
socks.
buy him.
Yep. No, like, but yeah, they got me that or whatever, and then we just went out to dinner. For once they actually have like restaurants and stuff like that where they had deals or specials for fathers versus Mother's Day deals, you know what I mean? So like as a free burger or something like that, cold beer and cheeseburgers, we go there on the regular. So it's like, all right, we'll go ahead and, get that. And it's hella cheap because I split the burger with my wife. The kids, they just split like a thing of chicken tenders or whatever, and I think we got like a pretzel or something else, but like it's crazy because like the bill came out to less than $40, and that's like amazing or 41, $42, which is amazing when it comes to actually going out to eat at any place, whether it be like casual dining or restaurant dining. So that
yeah,
was cool,
especially
and
family.
just chilled and watched some sports and stuff like that on the TV. So it was a good time, very
That's
enjoyable.
See,
that's
you're noble. You're noble for actually taking your family to cold beer and cheeseburgers. Every year, I tell the kids, listen, I'm going to get my free burger. You guys sit your happy ass here at the house. So every year, my dad, myself, and then a couple of my cousins, we go. All the dads go, and we get our free menu on. You know what I'm saying? So after I get like
Mm.
one drink and a side of fries, I end up paying like $12. But
Well,
yeah, no, every year the kids like, what are we doing for
yeah.
dinner? I'm like, well, I'm going to get a burger. You guys are eating ramen noodles.
Shoot. Well, I didn't pay for it, so it worked out. My wife, she paid for it in this case. So, she paying for the kids and whatnot. And I feel like it's like, all right, yeah, it's my day as the father, but part of the reason for that day is because I had these kids. So I
I
guess,
know, I know.
they're with me and stuff like that. If not, if I had like some friends that are fathers, like it's me and then like maybe two, three dudes outside of you guys or whatever that are fathers and whatnot that I hang out with. So it's like I really don't have like a whole grip of fathers that were doing stuff. Obviously, my dad, which I forgot that too. I did go over to my dad's, my parents' house to give him his gift, just some money and a card, basic stuff or whatever, and chopped it up with him for a bit. So we hung out a little bit as well. And that was our solo dad time, I guess, just hanging out, me and him. But then
Yeah.
after that was like the dinner and all that with the family. And I get that, and I totally would do that because I want to say my wife, her and her like mom and her, other relatives that are females, aunts and such, and cousins, they'll get together, they'll do something in that nature as well, have like a ladies like thing. Totally understandable, it makes perfect sense. But just as you're saying, Don, this is like the situation where it's like, yeah, I just want to just be lax, chill, whatever.
For
And
sure.
especially with my kids at their age, it's like, all right, like this is the time where they do want to be around dad, so let me go ahead and just accept it and be with them versus, them being like in their like late teens or mid teens or early
Yeah.
teens, shoot, even like, preteens and being like, oh, I don't want to be around you, dad. Like, F that. Like, so
Yeah.
take it while I can.
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, I
Enjoy
did a
it.
very similar thing, low key, but then ended up doing the rounds. Luckily, it was only one round. We had to go to the grandparents, and so it's always nice to have, the three generations of Harolds in one spot and being able to just talk and hang out, and the kids get to see that and just know different people and hear stories and things that it was like a celebratory moment and all that stuff, especially because Cindy's coming off of, her dissertation and getting her PhD and all that. And so her being heads down for so long, finally people got to kind of embrace her and be like, congratulations for that. So it was just like a good moment to have everybody together in one place. And you just never know how many times you can have that happen. Because, time goes on. So
That's
True.
real cool. And it was interesting, you talked about just chilling back and watching. It was interesting that there was no NBA on for Father's Day, Like that was like a
yeah.
weekend where there wasn't really much on except maybe tennis and like F1 or something like that. But like other than that, there was really nothing on. It might have been Indianapolis 500. There was one of the races that was on, but
They had a race on, they had some golf thing that was going on, and then they had the soccer, like I'm not
okay.
sure what it was. It was like the United States and yeah, like not to the United States versus somebody that was really horrible because the United States won like 5-0 in soccer, so it's like crazy, but whatever. Trinidad and the other T,
There you
whatever
go.
that. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what it was they're playing against. But that was on, and I only remember that because again, we're at Colby and Cheeseburgers when it was playing on in the background. So
Yeah.
but yeah, no basketball, which I think was part of the scheduling effed up on their part, but also F their part, meaning like the NBA schedulers, but also more so like the players and complain talking about they need so many days of rest and stuff. Because if you look at this finals, it was like two games obviously in Indiana, and then they did like a 3-day break, and there's two games in Oklahoma City or vice, yeah, Oklahoma City, two
Yeah.
days, 3-day break, two games in Indiana, then a 2-day break. Whereas if it was a 1-day break, that's where it would have been on Father's Day.
Hmm.
But they're just extending it as long as they can, again, make some more dollars based off of the fact that it's not teams that necessarily
Oh,
wanted to be in the
definitely.
NBA. That's that whole rigged script. But anyways, yeah, it was a little shocking, especially when you think back to like one of the biggest Father's Day when Jordan won his championship after his dad died, like on Father's Day and he's out there crying. I mean, so, those moments are special moments. So you think like, Father's Day, this is a perfect day to have a championship game, but whoever the schedulers were and whatnot, they fucked it up, missed that opportunity.
That
And
sounds like a
John.
good segue. Who do you guys have tonight? It's game 7, man. Who do you think's taking it?
Oh, okay. See, is what I'm hoping for.
Oh,
Uh,
that's who you want. Okay. You know what? I mean, obviously I don't have a dog in this fight. Neither team is whatever to me. I think the Pacers are gonna take it though. I genuinely think the Pacers are gonna take it. I don't know, man.
Shock the
I
world.
don't know what it is. I think OKC has a more talented team overall. Of course, you got SGA, the MVP. But I don't know, bro. I think if Siakam is locked in, when Siakam's locked in, bro, you can't stop him. And Halliburton, like, I don't think he's overrated, but he's not as fire as people are making him out to be. You know what I mean? Like, he's a really good role player, but he's not that like star quality player, in my opinion, just yet.
No,
But with that being said, man, go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, with that being said, I still think Pacers are dogs, man. They fight. The thing about them is they fight every single quarter, bro. Like they could be down 15, down 20, doesn't matter. They fight every single quarter. So I really believe if they're on their game, they're taking it tonight.
That I'm
Yeah, and
hoping
so
I'm hoping the Pacers, like I've been going for them for the
yeah.
longest. This playoffs, I guess you could say, because I feel like they've always been counted out. I like Siakam, and I like how their team is built. I think they are balanced, and I also think that they're pretty evenly matched with OKC. I don't see that there's a huge talent deficit. I think they both have deep benches where they go 8, 9 deep. So I don't know. I think it could be either way. And I just hope it doesn't get to be a 15, 20 point lead either way. Like it seems like one side's been having to catch up, or it's halftime and one team is up by 20, but who knows, that lead might not be safe. But if you got to play out of a deficit the whole time, you use so much energy trying to get back. I don't know. I just rather it be, if it's gonna be close, let it be close the whole game rather than having to have these huge swings.
I think that's the I think that's just how it is now. Like if you look at all the playoff series, it's been like that. I mean, every single series, I mean, New York Knicks being down by 20 and then coming up and winning, or Celtics were up by 20 and then my fourth quarter they lose it. I feel like every single series, because of everyone just shoots threes, like you could be tied and all of a sudden like four threes later, you're up by 12, now you're up by 15, you're up by 20. It's That's just how it is now. I don't there's no neck and neck NBA anymore, low key. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not really a thing.
Yeah, it's in some ways it kind of seems like it's every single player in the NBA or this generation where it has like a bit of like ADD to where like they just get bored real quick. So, and as you mentioned, they're shooting threes, so they're shooting all these threes. If they're hot, okay, bam, it's gonna put them up by 10, 15, 20 points or whatever, which nowadays you listen to the commentators like no lead safe, and that's legit now because all you need to do is have a good streak of threes and then you can bring that 20-point deficit down to like 8 points or 5 points or whatever. And so what happens is
Hmm.
again, a team is all amped up, their home court or whatever, and or whatever the reason is, they're amped up. They start off, they hit the gates. And so by the end of the first quarter, it's like 32-10 because the other team's like, not in it just yet or whatever, right? Now they got like a 20-point deficit. Okay, now that lit a fire under them, they swing and come back and whatnot. And the reason they're able to come back is because that team with the 20-point lead, that ADD kicked in where they're like, oh, okay, well, we got this in the bag. No big deal. Like, let's do other stupid stuff or like be half-assed about executing like our game plan or whatever. All of a sudden they look up and the score, they're up by like 2 or 3 points and it's right before halftime, whatever, right? They go into halftime. Each of the coaches give their stupid speech, spiel, blah, 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 blah. Whatever the superstar is, they start to take over in the third quarter. And depending on which team it is, that's where, again, they get lazy or they like the team. If it's the team that was down 20 originally, they're like, oh, okay, we came back or whatever. So now we're good. We can let off, the pressure, ease off the brake or, put the brakes on the bear or whatever, right? And then they end up going down again. And then it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth just because I think the passion isn't there for a full 48 minutes anymore. It's just like, I got to worry about my shoe deal, or I got to worry about the after party I'm going to after this, or whatever else, like, got to worry about my brand. How much time am I getting? Versus like, yo, are we winning? Are we losing? Like, what do we need to do? What do we need to switch up? Like, I don't even think they even do call like timeouts like they normally did back in the day, You get like a
Carlisle will be
run of
calling the
like two,
timeouts with the
three shots in a
quickness.
row, like they used to call timeouts. Now it's just like, okay, let's let them play through it. And, you're down by six, now you're down by 12, now you're down by 15. And then, they have the commercial timeout or something that happens. It's weird. I don't understand coaching. I don't understand the ball players. I don't understand any of that. All I understand is like one, the eye test, and if you want to throw stats in there as well, stats. And for that purpose, that's why not only like do I like the way they play better, being Oklahoma City, but again, like you said, Harold, like it seems, or Don, they have the better team. It looks if you look at each of the different players at each of those different positions, you're probably going to be like, yeah, let me go ahead and get Jalen Williams over whatever, like, or maybe I'll get Siakam over Jalen Williams. Okay, well, I'll probably go ahead and get SGA over Tyrese Halliburton, or I'll get Chet Holmgren over Miles Turner or whatever. And if I look at it on paper, look at all those dudes lined up against all the dudes that you have on the paper in Indiana. Yeah, Indiana, their record, obviously, and them being in the finals definitely has something to say for them. But just like the regular masses, everybody else, like everybody in the gambling and stuff like that, even like all the commentators, everybody had it on OKC. Some of them saying it's going to be a sweep. Some people saying it's going to be a gentleman's sweep. Very few people said or thought it was going to be 7 games, but they wanted it to be 7 games. And the NBA wanted it to be 7 games again, all because of that money. there I go on that tangent. But
For
the
sure.
main point being, like, um, I I don't know who's gonna win it because you guys both made valid arguments that, Indiana, they could be a sleeper and whatnot. And then going back to what I said about everybody having ADD or being lackadaisical about like playing or whatever, they OKC could get caught slipping even though they're at their home court. But I want them, emotionally, I prefer them to win. I like their team more so than Indiana. And I think part of it is my biased or annoyance at Tyrese Halliburton and having like a little bit of like light skinned confidence, I call it, where everybody says he's overrated. Like you, I don't think he's necessarily overrated. But yeah, I guess maybe I am because people like hype him up like he's this closer and everything because all those like game winning shots he did in the playoffs. I feel like a lot of those are just lucky like miracles because it wasn't drawn
Mhm.
up plays for him. It's like, oh, like we just inbound the ball with 7 seconds after the other team scored because they're like just doing like go ahead shots and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, he did get a lot of those, but if I'm talking about someone that's a closer, I'm going to take a Jalen Brunson before I'm going to take a Tyrese Halliburton, even though Tyrese obviously beat him in the playoffs. You know what I mean? But and I don't even like New York. I don't like New York at all. But Jalen Brunson, like he like works magic or makes miracles in like that fourth quarter, more so than I think Tyrese Halliburton. And again, Tyrese, outside of being considered overrated, people have said stuff like he's like hella cocky or he'll talk some ish or whatever. Big word shout out to Tim Hardaway, senior. He said something like, well, oh yeah, the reason I started beef or I wasn't, I was discrediting Tyrese Halliburton was because he would talk a whole lot of supposedly when the team's up. But then when they're down, he like got quiet. And it's like, no, no, if you're gonna talk your even if you're losing, and that's I kind of support that. I'm like, yeah, like if you're gonna be this big bad person talking, talk when all the time. Don't just talk just when you're like winning by 20. You're gonna start talking now. No, like talk before the game even starts and tell me you're gonna win by 20. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I have a little bit of bias against Tyrese Halliburton, so maybe that's why I'm also not rooting for the
To be
Pacers in this.
fair, to be fair though, the fact that he has been talking all that junk, and yeah, he did lose some. They have been the underdog the entire series, and they are proving. You know what I'm saying? Like he's backing up what he's talking. I think that's why I kind of rock with him. Again, he's too talented for me to call him overrated, so I won't do that. He is not the star that they're claiming him to be yet, but I won't call him overrated. And again, he's backing up what he's talking. It might not be him per se doing it, but his presence alone,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? His assist game, he might go for 3 points, but his assists look good. His defense looks good. His rebounding ability looks good. His like overall confidence to be out there and talk that talk, it's getting his team up there and say what you want to say. But every single series they've been in, they've been the underdog and they've been counted out. And boom. And now they're here. We're at game 7 for the finals. I'm here for the talk. I really am. So, and I get it.
But
You got anything to add, Quincy?
well,
Sure, I was just listening. Nah, the only thing I was gonna say, as far as who am I going for, I'll say I'm leaning towards Indiana mainly because I like them more longer from back in the day, and the fact that the fam's from there. So other than that, neither one's really my team. So whoever wins wins. It
Like the
is what it is.
Supersonics? Is that what?
Yeah, back in the day, yeah, it was the Supersonics. Then it
And
was
that means
the
you're OKC. No.
man, two different teams. I don't care
That's right.
who went where, but nah. And then of course the freaking Denver, since I was, born and raised there. I always loved them. But other than that, but nah, just probably Indiana just because
That's great.
it's free.
So, all right. So, I
It,
wanted to
it
ask
should
you guys.
it should be good. It should be good regardless.
But it's crazy. I was thinking about this earlier. It's like I almost forgot it was still going on. It just feels like it should be over already. I don't know. Am I the only one that feels like, wait, like, dude, this is
and
still
it's been
going on?
stretched
Shouldn't it
out.
be done? Yeah,
Schedule wise, it's
it's like
just been
this
stretched out,
season.
so they can kind of milk it for as long as they want, you know what I mean? So a lot of days off
Yeah,
and stuff for them to fill in with commentators and people giving their projections and looking at different stories and ways to like um just ways to like kind of present the product of the NBA, I think, as opposed to like, hey, let's get to these games. knock them out, knock them out, knock them out, and get a winner. So yeah, it's just
Yeah.
been stretched or extended a lot
Well, the
longer, it
playoffs in
seems.
general started in April, so it's been forever that we've been watching playoff basketball every other day, listening to the commentary and all that other stuff. And it's you can only be hyped and sustain that momentum for so long before it's like, all right, let's conclude
Exactly.
this.
Well,
ADD.
not
Yeah, and
even that.
especially
It's because
after your
no, I
teams
said
lose
it's also
that
too because
the big one.
it's small market teams. That's why. Like, if it
Exactly.
were if they were going since April, but it was all like the moneymaker teams. If you had Rockets and Lakers and Celtics and all that, then we'd be hyped since April. But it's all small market teams, so nobody really cares about that. So that's why it feels all drawn out. It's like Indiana, okay, OKC, okay, you know what I'm saying? So, I
Yeah.
mean, even the MVP. I mean, SGA was MVP, but even him is like they wanted it to be Jokic again. Like that would have been something different and would have been made a lot more noise versus, no knock to SGA, but okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why it feels all drawn out.
I agree. Yeah.
Good point.
So I want to ask you guys
You said
because
you want to ask a question.
yeah, because we've been podcasting now a couple years. So I just want to know, have you guys learned anything from podcasting? From what you thought it was originally to like actually doing it? Like, what are some things that we've kind of taken away, gone, maybe it's learning on the spot, on the job versus I think this is what it is. I think this is how I'm going to prepare. I don't know, anything you want to share with that?
How about you go
Go
first?
ahead.
I have some thoughts, but what do you think? What did you learn from, especially from editing, like from the editorial standpoint and all of that? What did you learn?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of avenues as talent and then as like the production part of it. I'll let you guys talk more about the being a participant, being the talent, being like the, having the conversation. But I think as far as putting it together, there's I guess two methods, and there's the going live and then there's the like post. So like if we were to go live, it'd be a lot of moving different things and using buttons and queuing certain lower thirds and things of that nature. And I had that already and prepared. But since we're not necessarily doing that, we're not on Twitch or YouTube Live or any other avenues. Um, we just record it, and then what I want to do is basically not make it look like it is a Zoom call or not like make it look like it's a work meeting or anything like that. So I do a lot with graphics and overlays and cutting up all of our sound and our video and making it look smooth and adding transitions. And that could take anywhere from an hour to like 6 hours to get everything in order, to get cues and points at which a topic has changed from one thing to the next. And then there's a whole process of like uploading it and having it shared and a whole bunch of other stuff. So for me, some of that was YouTube University and figuring out what other people do, and a lot of it is also like trying to make it not like something else that I've seen already. So trying to have some type of differentiating, branding type stuff to it. And a lot of that is just trial and error. So um, it's been fun, It definitely I don't mind doing it because something I enjoy doing. But
Dope,
yeah,
dope.
who wants to jump in?
I'll say
Oh,
for me, excuse me. So, excuse me, my bad. So I have a little experience, podcasting anyways, because I've done like other podcasts and like, I stream here and there. So like kind of talking in front of a camera and just like it's kind of conversing and having like an audience out there you don't see. I'm kind of used to that. So in terms of being like comfortable, I'm already there. But I think for me, and I'll be honest and transparent, learning how to censor myself, specifically with you guys, because you guys, while you like to be brazen, also don't like to like you don't have a mouth like mine, as loose as mine paws. So I have to learn at times to like um censor myself. And I don't have like a sailor mouth where I just go out there, da, 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 but I want to be respectful of you guys that you don't curse and don't talk a specific way. So
Probably just
I
me.
gotta, no, it ain't just you. All three of y'all, all three of y'all don't. So I have to learn. I learned that with you in high school. Like, this, what's the issue? Blah blah blah. I'm like, dog, well, you just talk normal. Like, I remember being around this cat in high school. Like, dog, he talks weird. Call me a buster with the bluck. Like, dog, will you relax and just say the real word? So with you, like I've learned that 20 plus years, so I'm cool on that. But no, just my everyday talk. Sometimes you got to learn how to, especially when you're in conversation and you get comfortable around your guys. Like, I have to learn how to just like scale it back a little bit. So that's been a learning process for me. But and then just everyday dialect and conversation. Like when we're just conversing and having like not I won't say battles, but just opposing opinions. At times, you really want to get into it. And it's like, no, like I'm gonna hammer this in until you get what I'm trying to say. But you got to understand, like, hey, man, it's just fun. It's talks. It's relaxation. So I think me overall is just dialing it back. That's my biggest takeaway: dialing it back, scaling it back. Um, but it's been fun. I do this anyway. So and I feel like I always want to talk. And we're at the house. I'm at the house with kids and my wife. So like I can't have this type of talk anyway. So I have thoughts in my head all week that I just want to get out. So this is like a good avenue to be able to just chop it up. You know what I'm saying? So it's been good for me. I enjoy it.
Yeah, feel you. About the same. I could see what both of y'all takeaways on it with Harold's, especially like it was funny because like I was telling the homeboy that I was like on fishing with the on the boat last time, like how much I appreciate the fact that you produce it and you edit it and you put it all together. Because I was like, shoot, if it was me, I'll just record it, slap it on there right an hour after the thing and whatever. It is what it is. So, but I was like, that is dope. And he was just because he was just wondering like, how do we navigate? How do we talk for 2 hours and just have a conversation without like breaks and pauses? And how do I just he's like, dang, y'all this actually, y'all be having some conversations. He's like, dude, it was dope just listening to y'all. So he was just impressed like how we can just actually flow together without it being like periods of nothingness and stuff, because some people like, all right, it's been like 10 minutes, all right, the conversation's done, like, all right, I'll holler at y'all later kind of thing. And then the same thing with how Don was saying as far as, making sure you say the right thing and stuff. And it's more so that, and more so also I look at watch other little videos here and there, and then working at Google for a little bit and working with the YouTube algorithms and knowing what you can and cannot say. So that's why every once in a while I'll be like, Don or Brian, like, hey, can't say that word, like, or I'll be like, Harold, like, mark this point because edit that part out because you're gonna get the ban. Cause trust me, I tell so many customers like, oh, you can't say that, or you can't put that type of video on there, or you can't put bold letters on there, like, or YouTube's gonna ban you, or Google's gonna ban you, or whatever, demonetize you. That was way before it got super popular with people streaming YouTube and everything else, their videos. But I still know that avenue. So yeah, just making sure I say certain words in saying certain phrases compared to like saying the actual phrase.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, like one, I'm still definitely learning because every day or every time I like watch back some of the videos, I'm like, yo, like cringe, like nah, that wasn't the business, or you need to cut that there and so forth. One and in different ways and everything. Like I said, one way in reviewing the videos after the fact, one thing I do notice, and this has always been me, like shout out to Kanye and self-conscious, like I don't be looking at myself all the time to be like, dang, I look good, but I be looking at myself to be like, are you looking the right way? Should you like bend this way or structure yourself that way or whatever, you know? So I've learned to more so not look at myself and my own like video or face or whatever, but more so look at you guys, especially when you guys are talking and like, okay, I'm paying attention to you. I'm not paying attention exactly to the camera, like, and being receptive. Also, along with listening. You guys know for a fact I talk and I can talk on and on and on and on and on. And usually at times when people start, we have again the battles or disagreements and such, rather than listening, I'm already trying to think ahead of like what I'm going to say next. And so having a conversation has had me realize like, all right, no, no, like take it in, understand what they're saying, and then respond. But then also, like Don was saying, there's certain times where like, especially myself being passionate, there's certain thing where I'm like, nah, like I need to get the last word and I need you to understand it. And you need to like be like, all right, cool. Like, you don't have to agree with me, but you have to be like, oh, cool, I get your point. You know what I mean? And there's so many times I want to fight and stick it in there. And that's something I'm still working on where it's like, all right, hey, like even Harold pointed out to me, it's like, yeah, we'll have like a topic. and we're just going at it for like a good like 20 minutes. And it's like, yo, we haven't even talked about XYZ. So it's like, all right, Brian, like you don't have to win every battle. Every conversation isn't a battle, and just, like, hey, difference of opinions, keep it moving. And I think the one of the main reasons why I also have that passion and talking and talking and talking is because I feel like myself, I do. I'm not too concerned with the censorship and stuff like that. So I will say words like grape, because apparently you have to say grape instead of other words, or I'll say something, and yes, definitely edit it and bleep it out if need be. I'm sorry I have to give you that extra work you have to do, Harold, but I'm just like, yo, like I just want to quote unquote keep it real. I want to say whatever I want to say, and I'm not concerned about what people think, but being respectful of you guys and everybody else and just in general, sometimes I do need to be like, yo, Brian, just shut up, which. And lastly, or mainly, again, I just got to know when to stop talking. In this case, I've talked for a good like 5 plus 10 minutes. I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna try to shut up some more. And like again, I was telling Harold, hey, get that wrap it up box and like put it to the side or something and tell me to wrap it up. Like so. That's me.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
funny.
I
That
think
little timer.
I think especially Quincy, telling from the other side what people are saying. I think feedback is always helpful and welcome just to see what it's like from an outsider's perspective. Um, but I think me when I watch it back when I have to do the editing, because obviously in recording and then editing, I probably watch every episode 17 times. It's just stopping, pausing, rewinding, going back, stopping, pausing, rewinding, going back, finding a clip that associates with this, that. Um, and one of the things I always notice is I try not to cut people off, to let them get their full thought out, because they might be saying something that just take them a lot longer to get around the bend to get to what their point is. Whereas I like to go directly in, out, say my point, say my piece, and then jump back in when necessary. So just knowing that not everybody's conversation style is like that. Some people like to tell a story, an example, have a tangent, and then they bring it back. Whereas I'm just gonna say what I mean, say what I say, get to the point, and then get out. And it comes off as maybe he's not adding as much, or maybe he's just setting up the conversation and then tuning out for a minute. But it's like I'm trying to have the conversation started. Hopefully it comes back to me. But if it doesn't come back to me till 30 minutes later, I'm not gonna then rehash it. It's the moment has passed. So it's just recognizing that sometimes the conversation I don't have to share in every single moment.
I need to be like that more.
No, I feel you because I kind of see the same thing. Like when I watched the back, like I could see myself just being quiet, listening for a good minute. Just even like when y'all were having the conversation about the basketball, I was just quiet listening to for good 5-10 minutes. With y'all, I was like, then I said my little quick piece, but I was just waiting. I was like, I didn't want to interrupt. I was like, okay, okay. Then I was like, then when I had the time when Harold was like, okay, what do you think, Q? I was like, oh, okay, this is what I think. So I see myself waiting a lot to speak on stuff too sometimes. Unless I'm
Yep.
super like, okay, I need to say this real quick. Like, hold on, let me but for the most part, I see myself waiting to speak a lot. That's just me from watching it here and there, watching the videos back and stuff too.
One of these days I would love to show you guys a peek behind the curtain of what it takes to like make the sausage. Pause. But there's a lot of prep and stuff that goes in the back end where you think like, oh, he kind of just like throws it together. There's like notes and notes and notes and notes and stuff. So one of these days I'll show you what it looks like, what it
Gotta
takes
make
to.
a documentary of it and everything. But yeah, salutes to you for doing that, especially if it's taking
Yeah.
multiple hours. I enjoy this conversation that we have and whatnot, and it's even better when yes, we do have it produced so you can actually watch it after the fact. So definitely give you your flowers and appreciate you for that because honestly, if you dropped off or like, hey, I'm gonna need someone else to do it, it's like I don't know if we would do it. If anything, maybe we'd still have the conversations, but I don't see it being like something we're posting up on YouTube or whatever. And especially with the edits and effects like Quincy, I just if I even knew what I was doing, I get it and post it on there all natural, whatever. And so it wouldn't be nothing
For
in
sure.
comparison.
Right. The only thing I would say if we actually try to, quote unquote, monetize it, do all that stuff, we need to do it on a consistent, like, hey, do it every 2 months on every second week of the month or whatever. And I need to get a better background, better camera, better everything, and just actually, be looking professional like Harold. It's like, his is always consistent. The only time it differed was when he was in flag. Other than that, and that was still, dope, whatever. But Consistency is going to be key. You can't look,
Yep.
trying to look half a.
Yep. All
I
right.
get you. Although
Appreciate it.
there's, and again, I have to be contrarian because Harold will be pointing out that when me being contrarian. On the flip side, some people like it in its natural setting where it doesn't look like we're all professional, but hey, oh, this person's here, this person's there, and so forth. So it just depends on the audience and what we're trying to
Yeah.
shoot for, like a natural conversation or hey, we have this signed up. I will agree with you with respect to the timing though, where it's like, all right,
Cadence.
yeah, every month or every other month on this day. So if we do have a fan group or whatever, they're expecting or looking for the next episode. And it's like, dang, am I waiting 2 months? Am I waiting 2 weeks? So if we had a consistency there, like, yeah, that'd be good.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Another subject. What else y'all got? What else y'all been thinking about or wanted to ask? Or anything else in y'all mind? The only thing, it was funny, I was just thinking of some random stuff this morning because I woke up like hella early. I woke up like at 2:33 and couldn't really get back to sleep. So I was just woke up, started cleaning up. Actually, I started cleaning up, and I was like, "Oh shoot!" Because normally we chat a little bit, say, "Hey, this is the topic," and we didn't really do that this time. So I was just the only thing I could think of something random dumbness, but it was something funny. It's like if y'all had a superpower, what would it be, kind of thing, something like that. So would it
Did we do that one
go on
already?
that? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't recall that. If we did, it wasn't like one that we had as far as the recorded sessions. But I will say this is a question I feel like people ask, on occasion or, just in
Right.
conversation, things of that nature. So I already have mine in mind and thought of it, and I've thought of other things and gone back and forth and whatnot. Like, I just want the ability to read people's minds. And I think that's part of like my mentality where like, I'll do things in public or around people and I cringe at it or I think, oh dang, like, how did that come off or what does, so on and so forth. Or, like, hey, I'm trying to please this person or satisfy this person or I want this person to like me. So if I could read their minds to figure out blah
So
blah.
you're saying
Again, that goes back to the self-consciousness. What's up?
not the what women want version with the Mel Gibson reading women's minds. You want to be able to read everybody's minds.
Yeah, read people's minds. Yeah, I ain't trying to like let me just get in with this girl and stuff. Obviously, me being a sleazeball, I'd probably use it for that purpose. But I'm more so just want to know, like, all right, well, like, did I do the right thing, or is that person okay with me? Are they afraid of me? And I get into this elevator with this white lady. Is it a white lady that's cool and down, that's going to talk with me or whatever, or is it one where I need to stay on the far opposite corner so that I don't even threaten her and make slow movements? Like I want to know what people are thinking so that I can make them more comfortable. At least in most situations, that's the way I think or whatever. I'm self-conscious like that. But also, I just think it'd be a cool superpower, just knowing what people are, what's going on.
I thought
That's
about that one. I like it. I ain't nah. I was gonna say the only downside of that would be like if you hear somebody just constantly hating on you, would you get mad like, yeah, this MF don't like me. He calling me an N-word, this, that, in this head. I was
No.
like,
And see, that's the thing. Like, if I found out somebody didn't like me, I'd be reading their minds and finding out why they don't like me. Me being me, like the non-confrontational person, somewhat. I would probably be like, oh, okay, they don't like me because this. Like, oh, his breath stink. Oh, dang. Like, okay, and I just make sure to consistently be popping Tic Tacs and whatnot to have good breath around this person, because I want them to like me.
no,
So yeah,
I
what I
think that would
do.
be a horror movie. Like you would sense like maybe you're in a crowd and there's 85 people around you and they're like, "Well, this motherfucker just shut," and it's like, "Oh, whoa, whoa!" Like there's a whole cacophony of people saying like, "Well, he just shut the," and it's like, "Wow, is that what everybody thinks of me right now?" Like, like
Yeah,
then you wouldn't
that'd be
just be
I
like,
like,
think
"Oh,
okay,
okay,
every
it's a bad
power would
breath." You'd be
have
like,
its
"Damn,
faults.
everybody finds me annoying," or "Damn, everybody," and this is just something they can't articulate. But that would be, I don't know, like people's
Nah, this
dark
not bash
thoughts.
on the
They
man's ideals.
like
This not
everybody
yeah,
bad.
that'd
senses
be
We're not
interesting. That'd be interesting.
every power probably have its faults, but I ain't gonna bash on yours. I like everybody thought about reading somebody's mind at a certain point, so I feel you on that one.
Yeah, yeah.
What about you, Don?
I was just thinking on how I wouldn't want to read people's minds because what if it's like, what if it's somebody that's in your family? What if it's your own parents and like you hear your mom saying like, "Yo, you were a mistake and you ugly as hell." Like, what if your mama was thinking that? That's crazy. You know
That
what I'm
I
saying?
But you
Like,
wouldn't.
what
wouldn't
if?
just get that at age 40. You would get that at age 7.
I would want to
That's
confront
what I'm
her and be like, "Yo,
saying.
like you're the one that made me. So what? You ugly?" Or like it's like what?
Like,
Like I
so
mean, like
right. So I'm assuming you're born with this, right? So imagine you're 2 years old. You're gaga goo goo, and your dad was like, I don't even know if he's mine. Like that's crazy, bro. Like you got to, like
at
I
that
wouldn't
age
want
though,
that
you
at
wouldn't know
all.
either. Like you're 2 years old. What does he mean? He doesn't know him. I don't know how kids are even made at that age. So yeah, nah. Like I'd be fine. I'm
But
still,
you're
and
thinking
I
in your
would
mind,
also,
even it.
I would also with like my superpower, I would hope that I could, yes, just turn it off. I mean, like, oh dang, this girl looks fine and everything, like, and I don't want to like, like use my super, like when you want to like, do all natural or whatever. I would hope that with my superpower skill, I could turn on and turn off, like where I see a person, I don't automatically just get their thoughts in my head. It's just like I have to be like, I want to know their thoughts, and then it just comes in.
Well, see,
I feel
even that
you.
sounds stressful because then you're gonna walk around all day going, when do I want to turn it on? So like, you want to turn it on when you're at the mall, or you want to turn it off when you're at what? I don't know. To me, that sounds like a superpower that'd be super stressful, and I don't want no parts of it.
But think about it, like you just mentioned that mall example, right? So if I hop in and I go to the mall or whatever, think about how many people I'm seeing. How many of those people I even care about? Like, they're, like, so I walk into a shoe store, right? Walk into a shoe store. I was actually with her. We went to I forget what the shoe store was, but it's like one of those like the consignment shop shoe store things, why, right? Walked in there, me, him, and then like there's this dude that's maybe like all of like 17, 18 years of age that's like actually the store clerk or whatever, right? I'm walking to there. Like normally, if I walk into a spot and they got people, like a shoe spot and they got like some dope kicks on or whatever, I might be concerned, like, all right, well, what do they think about my kicks or my fit? Do they think I'm just like a poser? So maybe that. But there's this 18-year-old kid or whatever, like saying, hey, hey, thanks for welcome to coming in. Let me know if you need to look at it. And like, I'm at this age or age 40. I'm like, I don't care what this kid thinks. He probably thinks I don't know what the terminology is. I'm like an unk or whatever, like, oh, why is he not going to the New Balance store,
Old Buster. Yeah.
And so it's like I wouldn't care to, think what he's thinking. But then if I'm still single and there's like a fine girl that came through, be like, all right, well, what's her first impression? So the minute I see her, like I turn it on in my head. So yeah, I think I'd be fine being able to decipher when to turn on, turn off. And yeah, if it was like my family that's like, oh, he's da 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 da, maybe I'd just turn off because like I couldn't take it anymore and I want to hear like my family
So
dogging me. So
So you
I
turn it.
think I'd be okay with it.
So you turn it on for that girl that you meet, and the first thing she says is, "I'm just here to get a good meal, and I hope he pays for this and that." Now all of a sudden your confidence is shot. Now you're feeling like down on yourself all day because you spent hours prepping yourself, grooming yourself, and you're like, "Ooh, I'm about to do this, do that, whoop de woo." And you meet up with old shorty. You turn your brain power on, and she says, "He's all right. I'm just here to get my little meal and be out." Now your confidence is shot, and the night is gone. No, I'm good. I don't want it. I don't want no
line up. What did
parts
we
of
say?
that.
What
I'll
did y'all
make
just
this
say
real
about the
quick.
last word? What did y'all just say about the last word? Trying to, yeah, both trying to get the last word.
Well,
Let's
Don hasn't gotten his
change it.
power.
Let's change
Yeah.
it up.
This ain't about
Yeah,
last
yeah,
words.
absolutely. I'm with
It's
you.
a
I'm with you.
cool conversation. It's a cool conversation. But
That's all
honestly,
good. It's all good.
what any of my superpowers, I wouldn't use them for good. I'm just gonna be honest. So like anything I would attribute, it would be for some type of financial gain. So probably like super speed quickness or something. So I could be in and be out like wherever I'm trying to go. Like some type of financial gain. Not saying it would be criminal, but it probably would be criminal. I'm not gonna hold you. So probably like lightning speed. I'm just being honest. Like I because if I say I'm gonna fly, then I'm gonna be able to like fly from whatever, maybe fly. I'll say fly, just to
So
be like PC.
my
Because anything
mine
else
is
I do is not gonna be for. Go ahead.
mine is close to that, and it's the teleportation, but part of that is the quickness, but often it's also, and you guys probably are against this, that I don't necessarily respect the journey as much as the destination. So when
Mm-hmm.
people are like, "Oh, let's go on a 17-hour road trip," I'm like, or I could teleport there and get to maximum vacation time. I don't want to have to spend
Facts.
half a day traveling when I could just be in San Francisco or just be in Minnesota, whatever it is, right? And then enjoy the time. And then when I want to get home, I don't have to use a day travel. I can just get in, get out. Like, I don't know. I just feel like
I got,
sometimes the journey I feel is a little overrated. It has its
Mm-hmm.
moments, but
I
anyways.
got you. I got a follow-up question on that teleportation or that thing though. Like, is it just you, or you can bring things with you? Like you're going on vacation, can you bring your family with you, or is it just you, and then they're just gonna have to meet you after their flight lands? You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't think that's how superpowers work, where you can just all of a sudden grasp everybody in your little orb and just let's go through the ring of Sonic and just,
Okay, okay.
So
but
See, yet
yeah,
again, not used for good because if I could teleport, if I'm chilling right now and I'm like, let me see what's up in Miami at the beach real quick and do this, and now I'm at the beach like this,
Brazil,
looking, and I could do this, and yeah, exactly, and I could do this before old girl has her coffee. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me see what's going on, and so I'm just saying, anything. Don't give me no superpower because it's not going to be used for good. I can assure you that. Okay.
don't give me no good. Don't give me no
what was
good.
that movie?
So,
Jumper. Jumper, they
yeah.
did that.
So
Yes.
that's mine is similar to the teleport, but it's actually I want to open up a portal so where I can just go through. So instead of like teleporting to a place, I'd rather open up a portal where nobody else can come through it. Only I can go through it and I can bring whatever I want.
Doctor
And
Strange.
Like
also
Doctor
I will be
Strange, like
able to,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much similar, but nobody else can see it on the other side. And also I can like, see a 360 on the other side to see before I go through it. I won't be like walking into a truck because like that's the problem I'll have with teleport. Like I'll teleport somewhere, then all of a sudden you teleport, and you got ran over by a car. You don't even know where you're teleporting. So I want to do that, and also like if I can like say when I go like I like to go fishing or whatever, I can just open up a portal in my freaking tub at the pool and just like drop a line or drop my crab basket in there and just leave it in there for an hour and come back and just like, okay,
Mhm.
lift it up. Oh, I got like 20 crabs real quick. So I would like to do something like that. Or I can just like, open a spot in Thailand, like, okay, there's that Thai spot I like. I'm gonna go through there, eat breakfast real quick, and jump back out and do so that would be mine. Because I thought about it, I was like, the only like I said, the only problem with the speed, I thought about the speed too. But hey, you running fast, you actually run into a brick wall, you splat or you ran somebody over, you just like on that show what was it, Boys, where he was running and ran that ogre over. I was like, yeah, I don't
mm-hmm.
want to do that. I don't want to do that. So like that's what I was saying. Like every kind of superpower, you could kind of think of a trait with it. It's kind of like the old saying, like when you ask the genie for like 3 wishes, you got to make sure that wish is solid, or you I want $1 million. Like you got million ducks and stuff. You
Exactly.
what the heck? You got.
Yeah, we
But
no
yeah,
longer
you got
take
to
money. We take Bitcoin. Oh, well, your money is no good here.
exactly. You got $1 million. This is dollars that don't. These are Canadian dollars. These are dollars that don't even exist anymore in currency. So yeah, you got to make sure. But yeah, well, that's
Yep.
funny. The only other question I was thinking is like somebody used to always ask me. It's like, do you believe in yeah, I believe in aliens and stuff. Like I said, just I was just thinking random stuff at 2, 3 in the morning. Just
What were you
random
doing at two,
questions
three in
that
the
are
morning?
fun.
Like
Flipping
it
about
sounded like
what?
some medicinals was happening at 2, 3 in the morning. If you talking about, yo man, I wish I could just have a portal. You know what I'm saying? Where crabs hit my tub in
Dude,
20 minutes. You know what I'm
hell
saying? Then
yeah. Like,
after that,
dude,
you
what
hit it
else am I
again.
gonna
He's
think
like,
about in the morning?
brother, like
Like, I ain't gotta work. I
I'm
ain't gotta
seeing
do
Yeah,
anything
maybe I'll
else
meet
but
an
aliens
think
and
about
alien.
randomness.
portals and
Think about randomness. That's true. That's why I can't sleep, because my mind is just going active thinking about randomness. So shoot,
yeah, your
that's what it
mind,
is. It's better
gotta
than
cut
thinking
your orange
about the
juice.
alternative. At least it's. But yeah, I think about that. Yeah, I think about. Yeah, I believe in that or nah, not really, or what?
I,
The
I
question was,
mean,
Brian, do you believe in aliens? You're
I
walked
don't-
away. Do you believe?
I'll say I don't believe in aliens in the way that science fiction movies and novels and all that stuff portray them. I
okay,
believe there's undiscovered things like there's just we haven't put a name on it, a label on it, some weird octopus looking thing that's in the sea or some weird, flying space crab, whatever that we haven't, had touch Earth yet. But I don't feel like that's an alien per se. I don't think it's like a walking membrane. I don't feel like it's going to be more intelligent than us. I don't think anything like that. So alien, maybe like an unidentified life form, but that's just called something we haven't identified yet. That's not necessarily called some crazy new being that's from a different dimension, et cetera, et cetera.
I 100% agree with what Harold's saying. Like I think there is probably something out there, but we don't have it defined. Like you take, for example, on Earth or whatever, we have humans and we have animals and stuff like that. But then you even say like, oh, well, plants are alive and they die and stuff like that. So maybe on one of those planets or whatever, and all the gases and all these things that we're saying, oh, oh, that's a gas, or oh, that's a this, or that's, the debris and blah, blah, blah. For all we know, that actually is living things. It depends on what the definition is living, but these rocks communicate with each other and like they don't make sounds or whatever. They can communicate through their brains or whatever. And really, like, the things that kill us when we like try to go to these other planets, like, oh, we don't have air, and that's why no, like it's actually an alien that, is, it could be something like that. So I think the mindset of what we consider aliens isn't what's out there, but there could be some type of quote unquote living thing of some sort.
Yep.
Easy answer, yes. I believe in aliens, not like Harold said, not the green with the bug eye, the black bug eyed looking aliens. I don't think that. But yes, I do believe. I don't know if we're living amongst aliens, but there is definitely a lot of things out there that we don't know and we'll never see. I mean, they've even said we've only experienced or discovered 10% of what's in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure there's a whole life form down there that we'll never find out about. You know what I'm saying? Same in space. I'm sure on one of them planets there's a bunch of things chilling that we'll never see and we'll never know. So yeah, I firmly believe there's, I guess, aliens, but not the
Yeah.
green looking aliens with three fingers. No.
Now, and how many gummies are you on?
Who, me?
Stupid.
None today.
He said none today. He said it's
No,
too early.
none. Yeah, none today. I haven't had a coffee yet, so none today. No.
Right? I feel you. I agree. Pretty much everybody had the same consensus. Like, yeah, I don't think there's like all these little weird, like, Independence Day type of aliens out there, all that stuff. But obviously, it's a big, vast universe. There's something that we'll never see, never know, but shoot, could be. They could be having the same conversation we are right now, You never know. But yeah, and look
On
just
the
like us
lines of
or whatever.
aliens and such, do any of you like think the Earth is flat? Simple yes or no. We ain't even gotta go into detail, just
Uh,
yes or no.
uh,
No, I'm not a flat earther.
no conspiracy theories over here. No.
All right, cool, cool.
You never
Just
know.
curious.
It could be. I haven't seen it, so you never know.
You said it
Oh,
could be.
we got one. There it is.
No, I'm playing.
That's how they start.
No.
You
Right.
never know. That's how they start.
I'm not
Nah,
saying
it's
it's
a
definite
good point.
no, but I'm not saying that. Yeah, all that
Yeah.
nonsense. Um,
Right.
so all
No,
right,
that's
so here goes a halfway serious question. So, and this is based off of, my wife again finally getting her doctorate degree, which is awesome in social work, PhD. So, Dr. Cynthia is now a real thing. But if you guys were to receive an honorary doctorate, what would it be in? Like
Nah,
Brian Stewart Wilson gets an honorary doctorate in
I wouldn't want like a doctorate in pimping. It'd be something stupid like that because I don't want like an education like so far that now I'm a doctor in my doctor in economics or no, like if you're gonna be
it's an
like, hey, like you're gonna
honorary.
be I don't care. I don't care. If you're gonna give me like a doctorate, then I want it to be in something that I like. And like the only respectable thing outside of pimping would be like a doctorate in basketball, I guess. Otherwise, like, no, I don't want a doctorate in
He
economics. I don't
said
want a
pimping.
doctorate in, what other type of profession there is. I want bullshit. Like, and I said pimping because that's what Gilbert Arenas said when it's like, oh, like when you become an NBA player, what do you want to be? And he's like, I want to be an international pimp just a stupid answer for like equipment because I'm like, yeah, like I don't care about doctorate or whatever. So I'll be like, no, pimping. That's my answer, pimping.
I'll give you an answer. That's I do like the pimping though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like call
I
me
thought you would have
Doctor
said like
Pimping.
filmography or something. I thought you would have said like being a movie critic, like Siskel and Ebert. I thought you would have said because that's your
But but
other
what does
love.
but the thing is like what does that matter? Like, so I can be a doctor of filmography or a
That would
doctor
mean
of
people listen to what your opinion is with a little weight.
But here's the thing. Okay, so you got me like I got that doctorate or whatever in like film or whatever, right? No one's looking for me in regards to film and asking me questions. They're gonna ask Steven Spielberg. They're gonna ask like Francis Ford Coppola or even Michael Bay, like people that are making these movies, not a dude that just went to school for all these movies. So that seems irrelevant to me. So yeah, now I want to do film. Pimping. Continued on.
I dig it. No, I dig it. I dig it. Um, I'll have serious answer. I'll probably say like I would take a doctorate in something like psychology or communications. I feel like communications because like again, I love to speak. You know what I mean? So if I could turn that into some type of like speaking engagements where it's helpful in a lot of ways, I would definitely try to like do that. But traveling engagements, and it could be speaking on any topic. It could be speaking on music. It could be speaking on today's culture, which I can get really passionate about. It could be hip hop culture. It could be, you know, our generation. The millennial culture. Just anything in general. Just like speaking in that aspect. I think communications. I would do that, and then psychology. Furthermore, being able to, I guess, further speaking, but helping people with whatever traumatic things they could be going into. You know what I mean? I think with me, I know how to adapt to different types of personalities and patient with other personalities. And when you're able to do that, I feel like, you let someone speak to you, you can speak to them, and you can kind of help them out in any way, shape, or form. So I guess if I'm thinking of an honorary doctorate, it would be something with speaking, whether it be communications or psychology. Probably leaning more towards communications, but that'd probably be it.
I like that answer.
So
That's good.
Yeah.
I got a couple. So and it depends on how you're saying honorary, because like if you're saying in the aspect of me actually doing the work and actually the passion, like I went to school for it, but then actually become a doctor, like or something like that, then I got to answer. If it's just like honorary, where like freaking Gail King's an honorary freaking astronaut, and what is her name, Perry or whatever her name is, like because they went up
William
to space.
Perry.
Now they're freaking, yeah. Now they're astronauts. When they that because that to me, if the honorary takes away from the people that actually had that for years and their drive and their love, and they actually meant something to them. So
Sounds like some
if
hate.
it's in that aspect, nah, I'll pass on the question. But if it's actually me doing the work, me going to school, I would love to be, something that will help people, like, a real doctor, surgeon type of aspect. That would be kind of cool to me, just knowing that I made a difference and like help saving people's lives and stuff like that,
Well,
or
yeah,
have the opportunity to do that and have
Yeah.
the knowledge to do it, even if it's a physician, like and actually knowing and what can do and to help people and stuff like that. And even if it's like doing yeah, just even with medication and all that stuff, just knowing that I made a difference and helped somebody's life, I'll take that.
yeah.
So
Well,
you
and
feel like
you
question.
definitely like. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's a quick question. So you feel like if someone is delivered or they receive an honorary doctorate, that takes away from somebody who actually has a doctorate? Like you feel like that's a lesser than? And I say that because like of course we all know what honorary means. So like I don't look at it in a negative connotation if like somebody gets an honorary doctorate at, a certain college. I don't look at it as a negative. Whereas like I don't go, well, he didn't really go to school, so why is he giving an honorary doctorate? Like I don't know. That's the first
Yeah,
I've heard
and
someone
like
like
when
speaking
Shaq
on
gets an honorary doctorate, right? You're not like, oh, he's an actual doctor. But I think that we don't respect it the same, but it's also not like it diminishes every other person that's got a doctor in, psychology or in law because they gave Shaq one. I don't know.
And that's what I'm
yeah, of course
saying.
we don't
When they're
respect it the
giving it
same
away
because
to
we know what
celebrities,
honorary means.
but
You-
that's what I'm saying. It can be described differently because, like I said, when you see a celebrity, hey, cause just because you went to that school, but you didn't really do anything besides, or you didn't even have to go to that school. They just like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna just for social media clicks and likes. This generation, they made a lot of honorary doctors, made them out of honorary whatevers, just because, like, hey, it's a cool soundbite. like I said, it was different. Agree with you. It was different, but now it's like I said, freaking. She's a freaking astronaut because she's a freaking millionaire. That's not the case, you know. She went to space, quote
Yeah,
unquote.
I guess
You know,
I don't take stock into someone saying like, "Oh, I'm an honorary doctorate," because I know they're not going to go to Cedar Sinai and perform surgery. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't take, I guess, that word honorary as much because I know what it is. You know what I mean? Like I don't, like Harold said, to me it doesn't diminish. I was just curious why like seemed pretty heartfelt on that, but continue.
Well,
no, I
I
feel
think
you.
when Don mentioned what he mentioned in regards to the honorary and using that comparison with Katy Perry and Gayle King and all that, like that did kind of like open my thoughts a little bit more about what I stated and everything. Because yeah, I was taking honorary kind of like, oh hey, yeah, like whether you like just went to school for a lot of years or like again you just had money or whatever and they're like hey yeah you're I thought Carol's question was like yeah if you could be a doctor in anything like honorary then like what would it be and it's like all right well if I ain't gotta go to work or go to school for it or do anything of that nature I'll just be a pimp or whatever right but like yeah I like what your answer was Quincy and I like what your answer Don was in the sense that both of those or doctorates where you're still helping people. Yeah, you're not performing surgery, a doctor in that sense, but you've had enough or you attained enough education to be able to help in this facet or that kind of realm. And yeah, like if I could think a little further and I actually got that mindset of actually putting in the work to be considered having a doctorate in this field, whatever it is, then yeah, I don't know what it'd be, but I'd hope that it'd be something helpful. Ironically, if I could be a doctor, I'd actually want to be a medical doctor. But if we're saying doctorate in other fields, then yeah, something that could help people. I'd side with you guys there as well. If we're just talking about, hey, you can be like a doctor like Shaquille O'Neal, or you can be a doctor like Gail King. In that case, then yeah, mine's going to be pimping. Just to clarify my answer.
I think that's fair. I think the when you think about it, they were talking about having Tom Cruise become an honorary like Oscar, right? And sometimes there's like lifetime achievement type awards. I think some of those these are overlooked. Maybe you're owed, or maybe it's like you didn't go to school per se, but you got it through street justice and street knowledge. And so it's like, all right, well, this person is self-taught or has got it through the mud, and we respect that to the fact where we want to recognize you in some way. Welcome to the club. And I feel like that's fair. I think for me, you guys probably say I'm the doctor of instigation or whatever, even though I don't claim
Yeah.
that.
but
But uh, I would just say like doctor of creative arts, whatever, like just anything, all things creative. I like to create things, obviously with podcasts. I like to create things even at my job. I like to create things in my spare time. So just any other ways that I can do something different, that's like where I find joy at. So
I feel you.
kind of general,
So
specific.
and that's what last thing I'll say on that one. And it's like, and I respect that some like I forgot his last name, but Vivian, the dude, back in the day that helped with the surgeries with the heart surgeries and stuff. He was black. He didn't was able to go to school, but he did everything. He was quote unquote a doctor, but he couldn't actually get his license and stuff because the financial side of things and the age side of things, but what he contributes to the world, he ended up getting his honorary doctorate, which I thought like that is dope. That's well deserving, stuff like that for sure.
Yeah.
Makes
But
sense.
yeah. So, but other than that, what else y'all got? What else y'all thinking? What else y'all got going on this weekend?
I mean today nothing. I mean the game starts at 5, so I'll be
Yeah.
I'm just gonna clean up around the house, and then I'm trying to decide low key if I want to go somewhere and watch it because I mean it is game 7. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to decide if I want to go to like a little. They just opened, I think the end of last year, the new casino right up the street from me, Desert Diamond, White Tanks, and they have a cool pub in there where they got like a gang of TVs, and it's legit like a 2 minute drive. So I might slide in there and go watch the game and see what's up, or I might crack open the Traeger and smoke something. Who knows? But mine's just gonna be watching the game and then getting ready for the work week. Unfortunately, pretty boring on Sundays for me
Yeah.
because my Sunday starts super early in the morning.
Yeah, I wanted to jump in there because, You obviously seem super giddy about your new grill. What was the last time you guys like there was like a gift you got or something you even purchased for yourself where you felt like Christmas morning?
Um,
Probably with me is the grill. I just bought the grill like 2 weeks ago.
Y'all
That's the only thing I
chefs.
bought recently was the grill. Like I literally bought that grill a couple weeks ago because mine was starting to. I had it for like 10 years, so like starting to get old, starting to have little patch here and there. I didn't feel like replacing the thing, so I was like, and I got a super good deal on it, so I was like, all right, $100 off, and I had $100 gift card at the place, so I was like, okay, that's cake, that's good.
And
Nice.
remind me in January and April to get like a pair of socks and some sandals for both you and Don because y'all just be all full like grilling like them type of dads and whatnot. That's y'all thing. So like, get y'all that, get y'all the khaki shorts to go with it, you know. Yeah, absolutely, man. Grilling.
come on, man,
Uh,
got to. I think aside from the Blackstone, which I was super geeked to get. I'm a nerd when it comes to anything like culinary or cooking. So, um, they got me for my birthday. And it's a cheap thing. I like it. It's the salt and pepper shakers that grind automatically. You press the button and it automatically
Nice.
grinds, and there's a little light that comes out from the dispenser. They got me that, and I know it sounds
So,
really remedial, but I'm telling you, bro. Anytime I salt and pepper something, I'll be like, got him. Instead of
nah,
just
trust
going to
me.
like, I don't know, stupid, but
I've been thinking about being that. That's
so
funny.
to
I've been
me,
thinking
that
about
was
getting that
Christmas
one.
morning when them joints are fire, and I'm sure it was cheap or whatever, but them joints are fire.
Ooh,
So, and
ooh,
the thing
nah.
is like even something little like that, it does make a difference because like when I'm like salt and pepper and something like you, and with the light, you can actually see exactly the amount. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, I don't know, it's a different thing. It's a cook thing, but it's fire. So I was definitely geeked for
Trust me.
that present for sure. Aside from this Blackstone, where I'm about to go crazy on.
That's
Ooh, I've been thinking about getting one. I got one of the hand ones right now for salt and pepper too, but I've been thinking about getting that because I saw it a few times. It had that little blue light and stuff.
Yep,
I've been thinking about copping one of
shit
those.
is fire.
So,
Shit is fire.
that's dope.
with the
What about you,
all
Brian?
the yeah. What about you, B?
I had to think about it because like you again, I'm trying to be anti all the times and stuff. So I'm like, oh, don't give me a gift, get something for my kids for my birthday or this or that, and um, or I will want money or something basic in general. So it's not like, or at least I feel like when I have people giving me gifts, it's just, whatever random because it's not something that I'm telling them, hey, I really want this, so get me this or whatever. So I couldn't think of anything specific, but a couple things that I did get. And probably the most recent has been the experience. For like my birthday this last time, it was again, I didn't ask for it or anything, but I had mentioned talking about wanting to do this, was going to this African restaurant called Latha. It's in like downtown Phoenix, and it's like kind of like a fine dining type thing or whatever. And I had been talking to my wife about, hey, I want to do this, want to do this, want to do this, and like, or I'm trying to plan and figure out a time to do this. And she surprised me saying like, hey, yeah, well, I just want to take you out to this like nightclub or something like that for your birthday. So we did get dressed up a little nice and whatnot, and sure enough, instead of going to this nightclub, which at the immediate moment kind of let me down because I'm thinking like, oh man, I was expecting to go here or whatever, right? But then lo and behold, we go to this restaurant, which was hella dope, and they gave me like a bracelet and whatnot. So it was a good experience that I was geeked up and shocked or surprised about for
That's
that purpose. But then outside of that, I'd probably say what is it right here? Like when I got married, and my bad. When I got married, like I'm not like a jewelry person and stuff like that, so I never I don't like wearing jewelry, I guess the best way to explain. So as far as getting married and having rings, wedding rings and stuff like that, I was like, man, I ain't trying to spend all this money on this little thing that, and I don't even have my wedding ring on now. It's not that I'm not married. It's just that I don't wear jewelry or whatever and it just feels uncomfortable after a while, right? Uh, I know that sounds bad, but it's
No, it
it's
doesn't.
important. Uh, well, point being, like, so I didn't like that or whatever, but and I didn't feel like the need to spend a whole lot of money on a wedding ring. But on what's that website? Kickstarter. On Kickstarter, there's this company that's making rings that are like carbon fiber, and you can like see them or see like not see through, but like they glow in the dark and things of that
Okay.
nature. And so I got this one, got it with the glow in the dark kind of like purple color because that was what I was repping. But then it's Fiverr so or Kickstarter, so you could get one, and then if you donate so much money, then you get something else. And so I got two rings, which I thought was funny at the time because I was like, yeah, like, well, I'm gonna get an engagement ring too. Women always get engagement rings. Me as a dude, I should be able to get an engagement ring. So like I had ordered them before like we got married and whatnot, and so I had a ring I was wearing as my engagement ring. That was like a kind of like a turquoise bluish color. And since that time, like
Hilarious.
one of the gifts that I've been getting on occasion when my wife wants to do it or whatever is additional rings. So I have like my purple wedding ring. Then I have another one that is again like the engagement ring. Then I have
And you said
one
you
that
don't wear
was
none of them,
for
right?
what up?
And you said you don't wear none of them, right?
No, I wear them when I go out and stuff like that. It's just that I don't have it glued to my finger all the time. Like just the other day when we were out, like I had this one, which is one of the most recent ones. This one usually I use for like when I'm going on vacation and whatnot. But yeah, it's cool because again, I can like change the different colors of ones and coordinate, with my outfits and stuff. And like, so anytime I get a new one, I am kind of like, ah, yeah, and like now, like I got the yellow colors. What can I wear with, like, so it's I get excited with that as well as far as gifts, I think.
That's funny. What about you, Harold?
Hey.
Dope.
Um, Mine is gaming related. You probably could have guessed, but anyways,
Hmm.
um, the Steam Deck is still like my favorite piece of tech. It's one that can play modern games, but also emulated games. So Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, Punch Out, Tecmo Bowl, all those up through GameCube, playing Zelda and all those, even to Switch. And then if I want to, I can use it as a second screen. So I can like stream the PlayStation or I can stream my computer games to that device and just use it as a native controller. And it's just amazing the amount of versatility you can use with it. That you could be anywhere waiting for your car tires to get rotated and just play for an hour or two. Um, so, and then the dope thing about it too is if you don't want to use that controller, you can use a PlayStation controller and just connect it Bluetooth. Or like I also have a fight stick, so I can connect a fight stick to it and then just play,
That's fire.
Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, whatever any of those, NBA Jam, and just like hook it up and arcade it out. So very
That's
versatile. Um, yeah, just
that's dope.
Christmas
That's dope.
morning.
That's hard.
That's dope. Oh shoot, we didn't talk about we were supposed to talk about last couple times that Sinners. What did y'all think? We never really got into that. You guys still want to take me on that?
Before we talk about that, like what was yours from? So like did you ever get a gift or something that kind of like had you like, oh yeah, that was dope?
Just me? Nah, like
He
see,
said his
most of the
grill.
stuff is just I just buy myself. It's like I bought that
Oh yeah, he
grill
did say the grill
two
with the
weeks ago.
okay, yeah, you did
What's
say grill, my
cool like
bad.
actually is my son got me for Father's Day he got me a shirt which was cool. It was a delayed gift because technically it was supposed to be my birthday gift, but he forgot to bring it over. So he just, technically, I was like, birthday slash Father's Day gift. So I was like, it's still dope. And then he came over on, he usually stays the night on Wednesday. So he came over on Wednesday and he was like, "Hey, make sure you wear it." So I Thursday because I had it on a couch still because he gave it to me. I left it on the couch when he dropped it off on Sunday, and he's like, "Here, wear this. You got to wear this today. You got to wear that." I was like, "All right." So I put it on when I went to work on Thursday. He liked it, liked seeing me in it. Given the fact that he got it for me, he was like happy and proud. So that made me happy. Seeing the fact that he was like all geeked out, the fact that I was rocking the shirt that he picked out for me and stuff. So that was
That's
cool.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
other than that, like I said, I haven't really received gifts from anybody else in a minute. So other than
Hmm.
shoot, I think
Do
the
you believe
homie got
that?
me
Do you
a
believe that
cigar
stereotype that women don't give good gifts? Like they're just bad gift givers?
or they give you a gift of their lingerie and stuff like that and stuff like that. They're
I don't
like,
think it's
there's a
specific
couple
to women.
times. There was a couple times I was like, had to tell her. I told the girls like, all right, this time you can give me that, but something else, not just lingerie. I don't mind seeing that, but I'll actually want something that I can actually rock or see. But so I had to have a conversation with her about that at one time. But for the most part, it was like I'm not really a big receiver of gifts anyway, because I just never really have been. I was like, I'd rather I'm the gift giver than a receiver. So every time I get something, it's like, oh, cool, thanks. But I don't really need it. Even my mom's was like, what do you want for Father's Day or what do you want for your birthday? I was like, don't worry, dude. Just keep that money. I'd rather you have it, pay the bills, same money that you're going to do on that. It's cool. Anything I need or want, I'll get it. I'd rather you be comfortable than spending an extra $50 on me. You just take care of yourself, Mom. I'm good.
Gotcha. But yeah, Sinners, it's funny you mentioned that because like I only saw it the one time, like way back when I saw it in theaters. Uh, but after that, of course, like everybody like has their responses and stuff. And so I'd be watching YouTube and they have like recaps, reviews, and so much stuff like that. And there's a dude, a white dude, believe it or not, but like he had like a 30-minute like deep dive into Sinners and the history and all the stuff that he's saying, like or like, oh well, they're wearing red and black to emulate this, and they're doing like this means this, and like you think it's like okay, he just like made that scene or he shot that scene that way just because, the sun was out or it looked good or whatever, right? But then you like get more detail, like, no, he did this way so you can see this in the background, this foreshadow with this one. Like it was a real deep dive. It was super dope. And I'm like, man, yeah, like I have enjoyed Ryan Coogler, like the director, like a bunch of his movies, obviously Black Panther, Fruitvale Station and Creed, all that, like but I mean, he definitely like ain't just like no regular dude. Like the way that I'm looking at his movies and seeing the things he has in them, like it's like he's on that. I feel like he's getting on that like again Spielberg level and stuff like that. Like Ron Howard or any of these directors making great, great, great movies. These are really great movies that he's making. And Sinners was hella dope. I'm not really a big dude into like horror movies and stuff like that, but A+ in my book.
Respect.
Yep. Don, you want to chime?
Carol, no,
I'll be
on you.
completely honest with y'all. I haven't seen it still. But do not let me stop you guys from talking about it. Here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was about to go see it, and then I seen that it was gonna be on HBO Max in a couple of days, so I'm gonna watch it then. But please don't. I've already heard every single analysis of the movie, so I pretty much knows what happened in it. So don't let me stop you from talking about it. So this time next month when we talk, I'll be able to, if we still talk about it, I'll be able to give my quick little synopsis on it. But go ahead.
So I'll jump in and I won't spoil too much. I just want to share that it was beautifully shot. Way deeper story than originally, like some high level story with black people in a cotton picking time. Like it's way different than that. I think that lived up to the hype, which was surprising because when you do hear things and they talk about, this is revolutionary, this is the best Michael B. Jordan you've ever seen, and etc. You're like, all right, well, I'm not gonna get too excited. I'm gonna still keep my expectations low and then hopefully be pleasantly surprised. And I think, I was. I think the seeing it in theaters, I saw it in IMAX, added a lot to it because, and this goes back to like just the nerdy side of me watching movies. When you've seen like what it takes to shoot something and like keep things in frame or like when what to focus on, the what it takes to like color grade something and do the sound mixing and just like what it takes to come up with something like that. Not to mention special effects and all that, like you just have a greater appreciation for like the masterful work that he did. So like again was pleasantly surprised. Couldn't stop thinking about it, and some of the fan theories and all that stuff, some of it I did get immediately, and some of it's like, oh, okay, that's nice to have. So I like that you could interpret different things from it and kind of get that lupe effect of, well, if you want to go deep you can, but if you don't want to, that's fine too. um and it's something that everybody can get something out of. So I I was that's my number one movie so far this year, and we'll see if it gets beat, but hopefully definitely get some recognition later on. um so
Nice. So yeah, I'll say it definitely was dope. That was like the first movie in freaking over a year, or probably about a year plus that I actually saw in the theaters. So that was cool. It's like I was like I'm gonna finally go. I was like wait, I was gonna wait until it came on like HBO or whatever, whatever. But I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna go peep it out. I got time in the day, and that was definitely worth it. Definitely good. Just the like I said, the bill fee shop, like Harold said. And I saw some of the stuff like Brian was talking about, like how people took a little deeper dive into it, and like how that certain scenes were shot, and how they're saying that even the director Coogler was saying like that scene at the beginning. You probably seen the previous. So I'm not gonna ruin anything, but when they passed each other the cigarette, he said that was like probably one of the hardest scenes to actually do, just because how it took to actually get it timed perfectly, because he didn't do a double or anything like that. It was just like a robot trying to give the arm away like in the same sequence, and then Michael had to perfectly do that each time. So just the way it was done, I was like, dang. And the story with it, I think it could. I think they cut out a little bit where you could was like, oh, if they added this, it could have been, you would understand it a little more, but you still grabbed it and gasped everything. But you would have got a slightly more of a connection with one of the characters if they added a certain thing. But that happens, I think, on each movie. You know, you only can
Yeah.
film so much, and edit certain things out, and like add this part and edit this out, and something that. But you didn't, like I said, at the same time, you didn't miss anything. But at the same time, it's like, oh, I wonder if they meant to do that, or if they added this, it could have been a little different. But like I said, it was overall definitely a dope flick, worth watching. So I may
Yeah.
try to keep it out again this week.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to add because this year has been creating all these events of like reasons to go back to the theaters, and there's every month there's a whole bunch of things that you can go to, whether it's seeing F1 or Mission Impossible, Sinners. They have I Know What You Did Last Summer and things like Final Destination. They're bringing back Superman and they're having like Ballerina and John Wick. Like there's all these reasons to go to the theaters and Jurassic World, and so there's the return of the cinema blockbuster, but then there's also just like people got so comfortable with streaming where they were like, I don't even need to see any movies in theaters again. Like, were you sad originally when it was the 2020s and it was like, well, this is just how it is anymore. We don't really need to go to the theaters. Like, do you like having to go back to the theater sometimes for those special occasions? Or do you rather just watch it at home and I could care less?
Man,
With
I got a
me,
family of five. I can care less. It's not even about the experience anymore. Like I'm calculating how much money I spend before I even get through the doors of the theater. You know what I'm saying? Like before we even get to snacks, if I go to a matinee, first of all, you got to go to a matinee. So you got to plan to do a matinee, right? So like, okay, guys, we're gonna go to a movie at 11 or 12 o'clock. Tickets are gonna be, $8 each or maybe $9 each versus $11. So now it's $9 each. I'm $45 in before I even do anything. Now, of course, the kids want popcorn and drinks, and now that's going to be another 30, $40. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, do I miss going to movies every couple of weekends? Yeah, but it's also like, bro, my TV's big enough. I could stream it. We got snacks at the house. To me, I don't necessarily miss the theater experience. I think the only movie I'm going to go see in the next couple of weeks is Jurassic World because Jordan really wants to go see it in the theater. So I'll take him because it's just him and I. Um, but in terms of like getting the whole family together to go to a movie, I'm cool.
right? Pretty much the same consistence, because like I haven't been to the movies in a minute, and when we did, it was like back in the day when I was with the relationship, and it was like four of us like, ooh, and y'all come out of the pocket, it's a little too much, and then like we got to eat before we get there, eat when we're there, eat when we're out. It's like a simple weekend turned into like $150 event, with the fam. But that's one reason I end up going on. I end up going on a movie at on a Tuesday, because like the movies are like $20 a pop pretty much. I went on Tuesday. It was I think it was Regal, and it was like $7 or something like that. So I was like, okay, I can do $7. I ain't mad about that. Oh, there's like only like five of us in a theater, which on a Tuesday, which worked out even better, because I don't even like big crowds like that. That's another reason why I kind of got rid of going to the movies. It's like I don't want to be in a theater full of like 100 people and stuff, and people breathing on me and people talking, and then especially go to a quote unquote black movie. where you got people just like, go boy, whatever the case is. So I was like, oh, I ain't trying to get in a fight at the movie theater anymore.
Yeah,
Stereotypes.
Dude, stereotypes are only true when they're true. But nah, it is, dude. It is what it is. But like I said, that's another reason. Like I said, besides the financial aspect of it, it's like I'd rather just chill at home with the fam. I got a projector. I got to put movie on the projector, watch it. Same experience. I got a popcorn maker that pops the same popcorn, same butter and fake salt that you get out the theaters with, and it's and you save $100.
that's funny.
For me, like I think it did shift somewhat. I used to go to the movies a lot more pre-COVID, and that didn't even have much to do with the COVID part of it, but rather just again the price, because it used to be like like $7 for a matinee, and then like the evening or late night, like $9, and then it went to $10. Now it's like, and of course, then they also had all the different theaters. You have the IMAX theater, you have the
Yep.
reserved seating, you have the Dolby Digital, like blah blah. So it's either you're choosing between 11.75, 12.75, 13.75, or 14.75, depending on which movie you're seeing or what format of movie. Either way, it's still double digits. And yeah, like at one point I was doing what I'd call movie marathons. One, I like to master date, not master bait, but master date, where I go on a date for myself. I just go and I catch a movie myself. I can actually watch multiple movies and enjoy them, even comedies, and not have to like turn to the side and laugh at somebody. I can laugh to myself and I'm cool. I love watching movies myself. But I do
Mm-hmm.
that and I'd see like maybe 3 or 4 movies all in one day, and that come out to $50. Like, all right, cool. Now it's like, well, more so I guess like $35, something like that. But now it's like, dang, even just for me alone, if I were to do something like that and yeah, stop and get some food or something to drink or whatever, every other movie or something, I'm still coming out to like $100 or something. Just like again, Don saying, and you take a whole family, it's more of an event now. Whereas back in the day, it'd just be like random, hey, what do you want to do? Oh, let's go catch a movie. No, now we got to plan out and be like, all right, we have 8 blockbusters coming out. Which one of these blockbusters do we want to actually fork over money to
He said,
see it
which
for that
one?
experience? See it in, see
Hold
the experience. The big, yes, you have a projector, yes, you have a big screen TV, but like having the actual big access projector, the sound system. And then yes, even if it is like a black movie, sometimes that's good. I remember going and watching Get Out. I saw Get Out once, again, solo date, watched it myself. It was so dope. Enjoyed it. Brought the wife and the oldest kid, and we saw that together. And like I remember when I saw with them, that's when like the buzz started to more so come about. So more people were catching on to Get Out, and so it was a larger or a more packed crowd of people, black, white, mixed, Hispanic, etc. alike. But I do remember watching that movie, and everyone's seen it, right? Get Out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah. So the very, very, very end, when like he kills his girlfriend or like like gets hurt, but
Yeah.
then like the lights, the blue lights pop up, right? And then like so everybody's like, but then right after that, when Laurel
Be
Howery comes
real.
out or whatever, that's when everybody like, was cheering and whatnot. It's like, yeah, like like I like to be able to be in that atmosphere of reactions of other people. That's like, ah, you thought the same thing as me. Like, oh, thank God, like, so sometimes the black experience at the theater is a good thing, and there's
on.
also, regardless of it, a white experience, and I'm putting race to it, but like when you see a movie like and the hero saves the girl or whatever, and then at the end of the movie when the credits come on and then they start clapping, that I feel like that's a white people thing, but neither here nor there. Point is, like, everybody does different reactions to movies, and that's part of the movie experience, is having those interactions with other people, randoms, that are thinking the same thing that you're thinking when you see that movie. So I do still like going to movies, and I don't think COVID affected it one way or another. It's more so just the price, to which now I still plan to go see movies and still will see movies in theaters, and I'll fork over all the cash that I'm doing for it, but I'm gonna do that for movies that are important to me. Just talking to Harold the other
Yeah.
day, like 28 weeks later, that recently came out. I definitely want to see that.
28
I
years.
don't want to see it enough to spend, $20, $30 on that experience, especially since I'm probably going that movie myself as opposed to going with the wife and the kids or whatever else. But even just for me, I'm not trying to spend that much money for that experience for that movie. I will do it in regards to the new Jurassic World or whatever, because I do like those, especially adventure movies, things of that nature. And I might just do it for F1 because that'd be like a dope movie for me to see. I think with the wife, she'd probably enjoy that as well. So I just
Right.
pick and
Yeah.
choose a lot more than I did back in the day.
See, I can't get away from, we watch so many movies as it is. Like it's just not special anymore. It's just to watch another movie. Like How to Train Your Dragon. Oh, let's watch that on our regular TV. And I feel like, this is one of the conversations we had a while ago, but like I don't want to dictate or rob the experience of my kids who haven't had the chance to like, oh, I remember I saw that in theaters when I was 10. When I was 7, I actually saw the new Jurassic World. Or I've been going to movies since, the first Minions. Like so for them to kind of have that connected tissue of I saw this in theaters, it was a different experience. And me, I think it's also not much about the screen as it is, I watched 28 years later, like you were talking about, Brian. The sound makes a difference. When you get the 14.1 surround and you can feel it in your bones, that's gonna be way different than turning it up with a little surround bar. Like it just
Yeah.
adds a whole lot of impact, a whole lot of bass, and you don't have to be bashful about how high it's turned up and how you feel the rumble of the dinosaurs in Jurassic World. Like it's just gonna be a way different experience than watching it on your 75-inch TV with a 2.1, like semi surround system. Like I feel like the sound is as important as the video, and people skimp on the sound all the time. And so
Yeah.
to me, I just want to give them the moment to be able to enjoy things too, like I do. And I still think it is special, even though it does cost a little bit. There's ways that, we have some theaters out here where they have $5 Tuesdays. Um, there is like low price ticketed prices where we could go for $8 to $9 a ticket if we do go to AMC or Harkins. So, and then they have uh, summer movie thing, where they
Yeah.
Something
it's
for
like a
kids.
dollar a day, and so they have things, in the library is also sending out things. So there's ways you can do it if you really want to give them
Something
Yeah.
things.
to try.
Yeah.
I feel you. True. Quick question
One quick
on my
note.
trip.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna
But
say this is how I know you guys are good guys and I'm not. I noticed Brian said when he does solo movies, he'll watch 4 or 5 movies and it'll cost him like 40, $50. It's very noble. When I go watch 4 or 5 movies, it costs me one ticket. I'm just letting you know that and keep moving.
And all you're saying is
No,
you're just reliving,
dude.
reliving like your childhood days. I mean, like I remember I
I
think I was with Harold. So side note, I was with Harold like this is around high school or whatever. I think we're like maybe 16, 17, if that. But like I want to say yeah, 16, like because we probably drove to the mall or whatever. But damn, no, like I'm tripping. Saying Harold. It wasn't Harold. It's one of my other friends or whatever. But when the scary movie came out, the original scary movie, right? We that's the same time that the that movie that had is a movie about the fisherman or whatever, and it had George Clooney in it or whatever, The Perfect Storm.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to buy tickets to The Perfect Storm so we could sneak into to watch scary movie. So I remember doing that. And yes, I do remember. I think I went and watched like a Resident Evil and got out of that movie theater. That went to the restroom and was like, oh hey, look, this movie's starting. I guess I'll just go and check out that movie. So yeah, yeah, we I feel like a lot of us, if not all of us, have done something of that nature. It's just that like
not at 40, huh?
maybe you might be reliving some of your old high school days.
he's in
That's all. Ain't
that
nothing wrong.
40. Yeah, I did that back in the teens era for sure. Go in there, see one movie, come out at midnight, seeing like 4 movies for sure.
Well,
Nah,
see, that's why I
like I
said
was gonna.
that's why I started with saying I can understand that you guys are good guys and I'm not because at age 40, I would do that today with no hesitation. I will show up at 11:30 a.m. with my one bucket of large popcorn. You'll see me at 3 o'clock refilling that bucket of popcorn, and you'll see me at 7 o'clock refilling that same bucket of popcorn.
That's true.
And I done had a
So
whole
wait,
Sunday
so
amount of entertainment for $15.
how does that work when they got the theaters aren't 300 seats anymore. They're 16 roll-out couch seats. So all of those mugs are assigned ahead of time. You got couples in there. We're gonna be like,
You
I'm gonna
could
pick
look at You could
E4,
look
and
on
then
your
if I
app
get
and
moved,
see
I get
what
moved.
seats are.
Otherwise, like, I'm just
Just
It's
see
just
what
me,
seats
brother.
not taken and then stop in.
Yeah, they're not always assigned. It's me, man. You go on a Sunday, they're not always sold out. Plus, not every movie sells out. Only the blockbusters sell out. So I go to see my blockbuster movie. I go see Sinners. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, let me go see what's up with Jurassic. Okay, let me go see what's up with here. Oh, this movie I kind of wanted to see, but I got an hour and a half. Let's go. Listen,
Right.
I'm not perfect. I told you. I know what it is.
hilarious.
Nice.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say before we take off, man. You know I gotta always ask you what you're listening to. What's the recent?
Yeah, like, it's crazy because I was talking to Harold the other day about it. I'm like, yeah, like we haven't had a lot of the album of the year conversations, it seems. Mind
Midway
you, of
through.
course, we're like barely at the halfway point of the year, so maybe that's why. But this is one of the first years where I'm like, all right, let me take it serious. So I actually have some bad things to say, or like, more music than just my same, oh, let me listen to that person, let me listen to that person. Like people I've listened to in the past and listening to like music from the years prior. So I was talking with him and like a couple months ago, I think maybe like either March or April or whatever, they came out with this album, a collaboration, Don Trip, Starlito, Step Brothers for Life. And I mean, apparently they've been making like music for a minute, and I haven't jumped on it, but like I've been playing that on rotation for the last couple of weeks, and just this is dope, 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 dope. So I'm like, all right, I already got
Great
like a
album.
candidate for album of the year. I already got that candidate, and then
Right.
also, like, yeah, and I'm looking forward to the Clips album that's going to be coming out like first week of July. So,
Ooh, boy.
yeah.
Man,
And you got a
yeah,
Kendrick feature.
bro. What's up?
And it's got a Kendrick feature.
Dog, I haven't been more excited about an album. We talk about it all the time, like, anticipation. And I think I'm anticipating this album more than I have any album in a long time. Only
Wow.
not only because of because I mean the first song, Ace Trumpets, was dope, you know what I mean? But this So Be It, man. And the
Yep.
thing is you can't stream it anywhere, so like I just keep going to the Instagram page and playing it. So, dog, I mean the clips, Pharrell production. I think it's going to be a masterful album. Now, do I think it's going to be album of the year? Probably, but it's got to beat my current album of the year,
Life is
which I've
beautiful.
said it early. Yeah, it's. I don't think anything beats that so far. I think that Larry June, Alchemist, and Two Chainz album is absolutely flawless. I still play it. It's still
It's
in the
no good.
rotation at
It's
least
no
once a
business
week.
being that good.
No, honestly, that's it's funny you say that because I'm not a big Larry June fan, and Two Chainz. I'll be honest, Two Chainz has been on a run this year. If you guys are paying attention to like singles he's putting out, in addition to the album he's put out and features he's been on, Two Chainz is on an absolute tear. Where it's like, why did you start rapping like this in 2025 all of a sudden? Like you've never been this dope. Um, he's been on an absolute tear, but yeah, man, that Life is Good project to me is still the top project in terms of R&B. I don't know
That's
if you
funny. You said
guys are,
Nas.
huh?
You said Nas. Life is good. That's hilarious. Freudian slip.
Oh, stop
Life
it.
is beautiful.
Yeah, life
I
is
did, I
beautiful.
did.
Yeah,
My
life.
bad.
Yeah, yeah.
It is life
I
is
didn't
beautiful.
catch
That's what
that.
I meant. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. But no, on the R&B tip, I would definitely say that Leon Thomas Mutt Deluxe has been on constant rotation since it's come out. The Mutt album itself is good, but the deluxe is just even better. It's all new tracks. I think it's 9 tracks
Hmm.
from the last song of the original album. So
Yeah.
do yourself a favor, listen to that. The Mutt remix with Chris Brown is fire. He's got Kaylani on the project, which is good. He's got Halle on the project. Big Sean has got 2 verses on there that are phenomenal. It's a good listen. It's definitely a good listen. It's
Okay.
probably one of my favorite listens of the a year so far. So Leon Thomas, the Cushion Orange Juice album still getting played consistently. That Starlito album you're talking about definitely is in the rotation as well. Very, very solid project. It's been some good music, man. It's been some good music. It still hasn't been like a blockbuster, year so far, but in terms of like, some indie projects and some random EPs, it hasn't been too bad.
Yep. Yeah. The
Nice.
I was actually surprised that I liked that Juicy J and Logic album.
I hated that album.
I liked it. Like the stories, I'm probably gonna fast forward after I've heard it, just going through and saying track to track why you came up with this, and basically Logic just bending the knee and putting him on a pedestal. But it's like,
Yeah.
okay, Juicy J, yeah, hasn't rapped over this type of production before. It's kind of jazzy influenced and whatnot, and it sounds good. Like it's a pleasant listen, minus the chatter and
You got
the
Juicy J like
So,
did a
the
project
glazing.
with Logic.
yeah, so
Oh,
I'll
live
say
in
Shit.
this.
color.
So Logic executive produced the entire album. He did all the beats. He, did everything. And so what Harold is talking about is like they'll have like track one is like them talking, like he's interviewing uh Juicy, and then it'll go into a song, and then like there's these like interludes where they're just talking, and he's right, like he is definitely like de-sucking the mess out of Juicy like the entire
Glazing.
project. So, and I'll be honest, the reason why it didn't work for me is because while I do like how Juicy J tried to rap over some like boom bap East Coast beats, like it so didn't fit for me. Like it just even like when he raps off beat a little bit, like when his regular trap beats, like and that works. This it just I don't know, man. The marriage didn't work for me. I felt like he was trying so hard to catch something, and like I didn't get the essence of Juicy J. Pause. Like it didn't sound like South Juicy. I don't know. It just didn't work for me. And the beats sounded so much like Logic beats, where like I was waiting for a goddamn like to come out, like and instead of a yeah hope, like it didn't work, man. I didn't like it. I tried it. I gave it two honest listens, and it just didn't work for me, bro. I'm gonna be honest.
I liked it. I mean, and again, people have different tastes. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
hey, you didn't like it. I liked it. I also liked that just came out, the Baz album or Boz. I don't even know how you say his name, but he's
Boz, yeah.
part of Dreamville, and he came out with an album called Melancholia or something. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just nice. It's like an R&B mix, but it's a very pleasant listen. And then my top two are still though Lloyd Banks and then Larry June and Alchemist and Two Chains. That Lloyd Banks is everything I always wanted. I think it's way better his All or Nothing series versus his like
Mm-hmm.
previous ones that he's come out with. So I've been
All of my
glad that
drops he does.
come back. He's been on a tear. He's been actually putting out albums. He's everything that Fabulous should be doing, but for some reason is not. And I'm just like, it's good music, it's good beats, and it's Lloyd Banks not trying to be something different. He actually has third verses, which I appreciate. It's not just 2 minutes in and out. So
That's a
Mm-hmm.
miracle in today's age with
yeah,
songs and such. Three verses? What? You're gonna give me like a 5 minute like song? What? Like, okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I agree on that Banks take. That Banks album is solid. I wouldn't be mad at anybody putting that up in album of the year. I just until I hear the Clips album, I don't foresee anything beating that June and Shane's project. I don't get it. I genuinely when someone tells me why it's so perfect, I can't tell you. Like number one, I love the production of it, bar none. Alchemist is one of my favorite producers of all time. But I think like the yin and the yang of Two Chains and Larry June to be like, so relaxed
Yeah.
where Two Chains is not. It freaking works. It is
And
the
it didn't
greatest
overstay its
marriage.
welcome either.
I've no man, a quick little 30 minutes, you're in and out. Like, and again, you could put it on, you don't skip one track. It doesn't even feel like 30 minutes. I could play it probably back to back 3 times and be okay. So yeah,
Now,
man, that's definitely my album of the year. Go ahead.
did you hear The Alchemist and Erykah Badu?
I I mm, I'm going here. I love Erica Badu. Let me start with that. She is a queen that will never be disrespected in my eyes. Um, that being said, I did not like that song. I'll wait to hear some more from them, but that didn't work for me. I didn't like this type of Badu, to be honest. That didn't work for me.
Yeah.
What about you?
I've probably the same. I'll say what they try to do almost sounded like, I don't know if you guys checked it out, but it sounded like that when Alchemist did that project with Mos Def.
Yeah,
Like that worked together better of like the kind of floaty, spacey, like Brian, I said it to you, they did the video type
Yeah,
thing.
I'm
Like
trying to remember it though.
they had like a live stream of it and then they took it down, but the powers that be.
Oh yeah, because it's kind of like I don't want to say it's a long thing, but like it was a yeah. I remember now.
It was like a
Which
50-minute jam session, and they were just
yeah,
kind of vibing out. And you haven't heard Mos Def or Yasin Bey in a while, anyways.
yeah.
So but that
That's one of
sounded
those
like
ones where
what
it's
Erykah
like
Badu was trying to
because he
do.
hasn't been consistent, it wasn't that great for me. It's like, yeah, it's cool, but like I listen and then like trail off and not even pay attention to
Oh,
it anymore.
one thing I did want to ask, music related, really quick before we go. Did any of you watch the Tiny Desk of Wiz Khalifa?
Someone said one of you guys said it wasn't good. Like, are you
If you
disappointed?
haven't,
So I didn't.
Was that recent?
It was Khalifa. Yeah, it's been like in the past.
no,
Like,
I was he just dropped it. I didn't. He just dropped it like a week ago, and so I don't know which Tiny Desk we were speaking about. I know the Anne
You was
Marie
talking
one
about
that
the
just dropped was not
E40.
good, but
Harold was talking about the E40 one.
oh, okay then. I thought someone mentioned like the Wiz Khalifa, so I was like, oh well, I've
Oh
seen
yeah, I
it
guess
like
it came
yeah
out
the
last
past
week.
couple
Yeah,
days, but
I
yeah, I
missed it.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't either. And I intentionally missed it because I could have sworn someone told me like, yeah, it's disappointing. So I was like, oh, well, I'm just not. I mean, I know a decent amount of Wiz Khalifa songs, but I never like paid attention to an album his or anything. So seeing a Tiny Desk would be cool, and I normally would watch it. But again, somewhere in my mind, I thought that I heard it was whack, so I didn't bother.
Nah, yeah, Harold was talking about the E40 one when he said it was disappointing.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
Don, how was it? If you're still on,
Cut off again. He'll probably pop back on in a second. There you
Don,
go.
how was it?
He's frozen up.
Tech difficulties.
do you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what was your review on it? The
Okay.
Wiz Khalifa.
If you guys can hear me, the Wiz Khalifa Tiny Desk is absolutely fire. He bodied that. It's one of my favorite ones that I've heard in a long time. He does a little bit of the new Cushion Orange Juice too, and then a lot of it is from the original Cushion Orange Juice mixtape. And I, Harold, I'm telling you, go listen to it. Because, I mean, you guys know our affinity for the Cushion Orange Juice mixtape. It's probably my favorite one of all time. And the band that does Mesmerize, They Do Never Bend,
Oh,
he does Up, and he sounds exactly like the album, bro. I'm telling you, it is phenomenal. It is great, 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 great. Go listen to it. Trust me.
nice.
Okay.
Now, have to peep it
Oh,
out there.
and he does Kid Frankie. And he does Kid Frankie.
Oh,
He does all of the heavy hitters on Cushion Orange Juice. I'm telling you, go check it out. It is phenomenal.
is
Phenomenal
Cardo
Tiny
in studio?
So, one of my favorites. Cardo's not in studio, no, but it's a dope band. The only takeaway I have from it, which I wish would change, the DJ that's playing the background vocals kind of messes up a little bit of the flow, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But beautifully done. So go check that out.
Nope.
Okay.